Okay, video number 2. So what we're going to try to work with today is first thing, nothing I say is going to be mine. It's something I've learned, is a result that I've come to by way of other things that I've studied. It's listening to other people and really owning intellect is a European mindset. There was uh, before Europeans writing stuff down. They were more obsessed with writing stuff down and putting their name on it. In history, you don't find that where information was given to you by God. It was God's information. So how can man put ownership on something that's not his? You're blessed with intellect. How can that be yours? We don't own our thoughts, so to speak. If you own your thoughts, what's the next thing you're going to be thinking about? You don't know the next thing that's going to be coming in your head. Just like if I said this can just appeared. It just appeared. You won't believe that. Something had to make this can. Well, just like that, something had to make that thought that came to you. So if something made that thought, that's not your thought. If that thought just came in your head, it was sent from somewhere. If the thought was yours, why do you forget stuff? So, but that's a whole nother level of consciousness. And again, things that I'm going to be saying is not, this is the end all be all. It's not, I'm giving you this information that's going to change your life. Or everything that I'm giving you is just a school of thinking. Take it, leave it, do what you will with it. But that this is mine, or he got that from over here. Yeah, I probably did. Okay. And most other people that's going to be teaching has learned what they've learned from somewhere else. Now, is my goal original thought? Yes. Can I tell you something you haven't heard before? Probably. As well as you can tell me something that I haven't heard before. So let's not get caught into, I heard that somewhere else. Let's see if we're putting it together in a constructive way for a good reason. And I say that to bring you an example. I'm going to start off with a premise. And all this is going to function with history, but we're going to start off with a premise that I feel is something that is overlooked a lot, and is a reason why we need to read. I was just having this conversation. We have to read. If you don't have a word for something, you cannot see it. I'm going to say that again. If you do not have words for something, you cannot see it. You say, well, seeing is physical. I can see it even if I don't know what it is. I see it. No. I'll give you an example. Person walks into a room. You look around. Oh, it's an empty room. Cool. And they sit down. A painter walks in that same room. He looks around. Oh, they got stain resistant, eggshell white, polyurethane based paint. He has all of those words, and he sees that. First person walked in the room just saw a room. Okay. Second person saw all of those descriptors. Now, coming behind him is an electrician. He looks at the light. Wow, it's kind of dim in here. They need to check the balances, or maybe they need a higher wattage of light, and that light is positioned here and light there. So the electricity is probably running through here and it's coming down there, and there's the outlet that probably is connecting to that, and they may have some kind of anchor in that wall, and the fuse box must be down the block because of thus and so forth, and this is how the electricity actually comes into the building. He sees all of these things that's in the wall, that's in the ceiling. But he has words for it, so he sees the things that the painter and the first person that walked in the room didn't see. Same thing with the plumber. The plumber is going to come in and say, ah, okay, there's a water fountain right here. So they probably have a main running through here and that wall, and it goes down through the floor and it probably enters the building through here. And if we needed to cut the water off, we could do this. And guess what? We could tap on this and put in a bathtub or a washing machine or something like that. So he sees all of these things. Why? Because he has words for these. So how does this work? If I come outside and I look up, all I have is a direction. All I can see is up. I have no concept other than direction, so I see up. Next brother comes out, he sees the sky. He knows the sky is up, but he also knows that the sky is the air above the land, and that something can be projected into it, thrown. Birds can fly through it. Planes can fly through it. Helicopters can fly through it. Rain can fall from it. It's a sky. Now we went from direction up to projectile, flying, machines flying, air, new words, new realities. Next person comes up and they have atmosphere. I know atmosphere is up. I know the atmosphere is where the sky is. But the atmosphere is hydrogen and oxygen and all other kind of elements, and it deals with gravity, and it is between outer space and inner space, or land and outer space. So now we have new words. We have gravity, we have elements, we have outer space, we have inner space. All of these different things come from the words that you have, the difference between up, sky, and atmosphere. One person can look up, one person can look up at the sky, the other person can look up at the sky and notice the atmosphere. All right? So it changes when you have words. One person just saw up. Another person saw up in the sky. Other person saw up in the sky in the atmosphere. That's the difference. All right? Now, why is this important in history? If I don't have words, I'm not going to see Black Wall Street. I'm not going to see Rosewood. I'm not going to see W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Martin Delany. I'm not going to see these things. So when people tell me about Black history, or today when the news is talking about black on black crime, I'm not going to have the words to successfully combat that, because I don't have the words of what happened when there was a small period of time of blacks being invested in through the Freedmen's Bureau after 1865. So that's an important thing about history. And I'm trying to keep all these videos around 10 minutes, at least the beginning ones. That's the important thing about history, that we read it to get the words to help us today.